Hello world, this is Cuz the Internet podcast. I'm your host Trey.
And I'm your Jose, and let's get into it. So,
Yeah.
something that's been going on, I thought we'd be done talking about it, but there's, I guess, the conclusion to the trilogy. How Joe fired Rory and Mal, they're doing their thing. Joe has finally now responded to their skit, artwork, their project, whatever you want to call it. And he said he's happy for them. He says that they were not happy for a long time, and he's happy that they're doing what they're doing, and they're finding their niche, basically. So he did that, and then Maul responded back with Sucka. Um, how do you feel about that whole, I guess, the ending of that story?
Okay, well, I feel pretty good about it. Again, I can't really say what Joe Budden has in his heart, whether he meant it or not. That's not really my place. But at least he's coming back and just giving them their credit where it's due. It might be a little too late, it might not be enough, but at least he still came back and was like, you know what? These guys are talented, they're doing their thing, and just wishing them the best. That should have been done in the beginning. I think we all agree, but
Yeah.
better late than never. So, and plus they were all friends, right? Like before all that slander of hiding detergent, sleeping on my couch, and not knowing your contracts and all this other stuff, they were supposed to be friends. So I'm hoping that this is how he truly feels, so they can actually move forward as a group, or a friendship may not be as close, but still at least have some sort of camaraderie. But with the sucker, again, Maul was the disrespected party. He was the one that felt like that was all the slander was thrown upon between him and Rory. So I don't blame him for not being willing to accept an apology, or somewhat of an olive
Yeah.
branch at this moment. It might still be fresh for him. Again, Joe Budden put them in a position where they have to defend themselves and just defend that they're not losers. You know
Bums
what
and
I mean?
scrubs, and
Yeah.
they're
So
worthy. Yeah, yeah.
at that point, I could understand why it's like, you know what, I need my space. You're a sucker to me just because of how you handle it, especially if we're all supposed to be friends. I get that, but hopefully Maul finds a way of just being able to get over it, and that's it. But I'm liking the fact that Joe Budden took this high road, and hopefully they could mend that friendship in some way. How about you? How
Hmm.
you feel about it?
So you're right about Mal being the slighted one, so he responded the way he did, and he has every right to. Pardon me. Because at the end of the day, we can't tell people how to feel if they're the ones who were disrespected, right? And he's big on respect. So if you guys are also boys and he disrespected you like that, then I understand why he's just like, oh, sucker, whatever. Because I mean, it could have been handled so much more differently.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't disagree with how he responded to that. As for Joe complimenting them and saying how good job and they weren't happy for a long time and blah 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 blah, I believe he believes that, but I also believe he's the type of person who does not see the wrong he does. He just does things and then they weren't happy. You know why they weren't happy? Because of you. If you would have showed them what they were asking for, if you wouldn't bark at them when they tried to do things, and then you say, oh, I'm the one getting all the deals. But when they go and talk to somebody about getting deals, you bark after them saying, you don't, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be talking about it. Why is it in your mouth? And then disrespecting them at the end. Well, this doesn't concern you when all three of them are part of it. So that's why I'm like, bro, how can you say they weren't happy for a long time? You were the one making them unhappy. It's like being in an abusive relationship. He abused them, and then he's like, well, bro, you were the problem. Like, you're the problem. That's why you said you wanted to go to therapy with Rory. I
Yeah.
guess y'all did one session, came back, and y'all were okay, and then you're like, yeah, I think I need to go back. And laugh about it. I'm like, no, there was nothing funny about it. You definitely need to go see a therapist. You have problems, and I'm not even trying to be disrespectful when I say this. You have issues that you need to get off your chest. You need to resolve these issues before you can have a healthy relationship with anybody, because this is not the first time you've done this to friends.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the last. And I feel like just because, like Rory and Mal said, when money gets involved, it doesn't change you, it amplifies who you really are. So him acting the way he acts, it's like, if this is what you do when money's around, then there is an issue.
Yeah.
And you need to resolve this before you can move on and have a healthy relationship with anybody. So I'm not mad at him for saying that he's proud of them, because he could be proud of them. Like I said, I don't know his heart. Only he knows his heart. If he said it, I hope he meant it and not just saying it just to be like, okay, phew, I'm in the clear now. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you said it. I believe you meant it. But at the same time, I feel like you don't see what you actually did. You're just seeing or saying what you think is right.
Yeah.
If that means anything.
Well, no, it makes sense because, again, there was a lot of backlash with how he first started coming at them and being disrespectful. A lot of people turned a lot of people away. So if he was able to, in retrospect, think about it and reflect on the situation, then he might like, you know what, I handled this totally wrong. It's such a bad look. And he might just, whether he means it or not, he might just realize this is not what people want to see. So
Yeah.
let me show a better part of myself. So I'm just saying.
But yeah, I
So,
guess that would be it for this topic of conversation, because it should hopefully be all resolved.
no, don't call it, man. Don't call it. We never know, right? Because judging from Maul's statement as sucker, I can definitely see whether they speak about it or not a fan, whether they speak about it or they have a guest come on and a guest brings it up, they will open up a can of worms. It's inevitable, and we will speak about it again. Don't give anybody no false hopes, my brother.
No, you're right. You are correct. You ain't never lie. You ain't never lie. There's something else I wanted to talk about. A post I saw: tip for younger folks in the workplace. When you take paid time off, anticipate how it will impact the team and try as hard as possible to minimize any disruption. And realize that there are going to be times that you just shouldn't take paid time off. Somebody responded back with, take your paid time off without any guilt. Turn off emails, Slack, everything. No, really. If it turns out your manager doesn't, and that's where it cut.
Mm.
What do you feel about that person's post about the younger folks in the workforce not taking paid time off?
Now, you know how I'm always saying, a woman wrote a post, I'm always calling it out. A boss or a manager wrote that post. Again, it makes no sense at all unless you're a boss or a manager. Other than that, no, that's your time away from the job. You take it to actually refresh yourself and be better at your job when you come back. You're not, that just makes no sense. It's just somebody trying to take advantage of a system or workers. So again, I get it if you're a boss. Like, let's say you own a company, regardless, you'd want to be able to walk away from it, but that is supposed to be your baby, something you're investing in. So there's no real time off. But if I'm coming there to clock and do my job, do it well, and give it my all while I'm there, don't tell me to be giving it all while I'm away. And that makes no sense to me. I don't agree. I think that it's legit someone just trying to take advantage of anybody that's willing to listen. How about you? How you feel about it?
So like you said, I agree. Well, I don't agree that a boss or a manager or somebody wrote it, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that, because I've worked at a call center and I understand it from both perspectives. So I understand when management's like, you have to think of your team and stuff like that when you say, take sick days off or take paid time off, because when they do their algorithms and allocate hours and the timing slots, whatever you want to call it, they do from projections from last year. So they have staffing to cover whatever to reflect last year's time where the calls may have increased, decreased, whatever. So you calling in sick, there's one less body taking calls. So the call volume goes up. And when the call volume goes up, There's more angry customers. More angry customers mean more detractors, and then more detractors, it looks bad on everybody.
Yeah.
So they say, you know what? Try to come in, help out. And I get it from the management standpoint, or I understand what they're saying. I don't agree with it, but I understand what they're saying.
Okay.
As for taking paid time off, if you are eligible to take paid time off and you feel like you're going through stuff, even if you're not going through stuff, you may not know you're going through stuff until you go through stuff. So take that paid time off, reset, refresh, and come back and give it your all. But don't burn yourself out for the company, because at the end of the day, if you were to no longer be there, anything can happen to you. You are no longer there.
Yeah.
They're not going to hold that spot and be like, you know what? Zay was an amazing employee. We're never going to replace him.
Yeah.
They will have your post up within a week saying, hey, we need somebody here. And they will fill that position. So as much as you think you're amazing and they won't get along without you, they'll get along without you. Take your time, refresh, get better, focus on you. Because at the end of the day, only you are responsible for you. They're not responsible for you. And if anything were to happen to you, they're not going to pay your hospital bills. They're not going to come check on you. They're not going to bring you breakfast in bed. They're not going to do any of that for you. They may give you a call. Hey, how are you doing? When do you think you're coming back? And that's why they're giving you the call, because they want to know when you're going to come back. So this way it'll alleviate pressure. But no, take your time. You deserve it.
And I fully agree with that. The thing is, like I'm saying, is from the managerial point of view, I get it. It's not that I don't get it, but again, that is not a reflection of the worker there. That doesn't help or the worker there at all. Like the other workers, yes, while they're working, because their job can be easier, but for the most part, if someone's taking a sick day, it's not their job to make sure that everybody's okay and someone could come in and take their job spot. Like, no, the person's sick. That's why they're taking a sick day. Like all these things, there's no real allegiance or alliance or allegiance when you're working at a company unless you have some sort of stake in the company. Other than that, it's every man for themselves. It sucks to say, but it's real. Because again, if something happens to you, most likely they're not going to do much about it. They're going to find somebody else to take your position, and you have to treat it accordingly. So if you feel as though you need a day off, if you feel as though you're sick, if you feel as though you need to spend time with your family, they should not come before that, because they're not putting you above anything or anybody at the job. So
exactly.
Again, I get you, but I just can't side with corporate ever. Like that's just real about it. I'm totally against the man.
Stick it to the man. So, with that being said, Naomi Osaka, tennis player,
yes.
23 years old, half Asian, half Haitian. Yes. She was fined $15,000 for skipping a press conference at the French Open for mental health reasons.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what I was talking about. She even put out a post explaining why she missed the press conference. And I mean, it was fine. It seemed to answer all the questions.
Yeah.
And what bothers me about companies, corporations, the man, is they feel like just because they pay you obscene amounts of money that they own you,
yeah,
you have to go to these press conferences. If I tell you it's not good for my mental health, I cannot attend it. And you're forcing me that I have to go. So I decide, you know what? I'm not going to go. I'll take the fine.
Yeah.
I appreciated this so much just for the simple fact that she is showing them that there is no amount of money that comes before my mental health.
Yeah.
So you're going to fine me? Take the money. The money's not even an issue. My mental health is more important than whatever money you're giving me. So take it. And then at the end of the day, she was like, you know what? I'll bow out. I'm glad she did that
Yeah.
because now they see, you know what? She's not a puppet. We can't just control her. And now she did this. People will follow suit. They'll be like, you know what? She's right. I'm not a puppet. I can't be controlled like this.
Yeah.
Money's not an issue. I'll make it back up. Don't worry about it. As long as my mental health is there, I'll be good. So I'm glad she did it. Then Pierce Morgan. He's a bitch. Yes, I said it. He
Okay.
called her a spoiled little brat because she decided she was going to miss the press conference.
Yeah.
This is where his white privilege comes in. Because he is an older white male who has never had to face anything, or you know what? I don't know because I don't know him. But I feel like just by the way he responded to what she did, he has not faced any hardships. He's not been turned down for job interviews. He's not been discriminated against because of his skin color or his name or anything. He walks into a room, he's the top of the totem pole according to standards of the world, as opposed to where she's at the bottom of this totem pole. So for you to use your platform and call her a spoiled brat because she is saying she cares about her mental health, shame on you. For shame. For shame, Pierce Morgan. For shame. So yeah, I didn't know who he was before this, but I know he's somebody I don't like. So if you're never gonna watch this, I don't care. So yeah, that's how I felt about him and his response to what she did. How do you feel about that whole situation?
So, for one, I salute her. You know what I mean? Again, what she did, brave, and I think it's a very good and very smart thing because, again, like you said, mental health above all, and just your own health above all. So, I commend her for it. I think it's dope. And that actually brings me back to what was happening with Kyrie Irving at the beginning of the season when he was like, yo, I don't want to do these press conferences. There's so much on my mind. There's so much going on. I just don't want to deal with it. And he was getting fined and people were making him the bad guy. And same thing with her where they were trying to make her the bad guy. And that's the only part where I actually kind of disagree with you on. Because it's easy to look at white privilege. It's apparent everywhere we look. But I won't say that this was white privilege. I'll just call it privilege because I've seen it happen with Kyrie Irving, and it was a lot of black sportscasters and stuff talking about him. It's because it doesn't benefit them. They're the ones that are in the media. They're the ones that are going to be talking about it. So now we want some sort of dialogue with you. This helps our business, and you're taking away my money and my business. So I don't care about your health. I don't care about what's going on with you because it directly impacts me. So that's why I would take away the white privilege and just put privilege. And because I've seen it happen across media outlets and regardless of the color. So that's the only part I would disagree upon. But overall, still shame on him. It was still a bad look. I don't like it. And in general, he's just an asshole. Oh, sorry. In general, he's just a jerk. And that's why. So I'm not even trying to take up for him. He is just a jerk. He's never on the right side of anything. Um, but overall, I think that it's just the privilege that a lot of these reporters, media outlets have, where they just feel like they deserve or they want that access because of all the money that and revenue that the media and commercials and stuff put into these sports events. So they feel as though this is what's owed to them, and that's why I think the next and basically anybody, whether the tennis, I don't know what they're called, the group that talks for it, because I know with the NBA, it's the NBPA, and so I don't know the tennis organization who actually discusses these agreements. But I think a lot of things are going to change these next times because again, they feel too emboldened, they feel too much power. I'm talking about the media. They feel like they should have every access to your life, and a lot of these athletes are over it. Mental health's a real thing, and after like Naomi Osaka said, after you just lose a game or a championship and you're just in your feelings and hurt, now you have to go and answer reasons why you lost and just emotional things, and that's not okay for anybody at that moment in time. So why do you think that these people should be above that feeling and be okay to just be there and be like, hey, you're making $1 million, so you have to be able to stand there and deal with all these emotions in front of the world? So I again, I think things will change, but I think that it's just a general problem, whether black, white, Asian, whatever. I think that the media is overprivileged and feeling privileged. That's my opinion.
Okay. Also with Serena Williams, after she had the baby, and she had to wear the cat suit because she was like the blood clots and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
she had to wear that, and they banned her from wearing
say
it.
she was
So,
looking too thick.
but that's it. Like I was like,
she's like a McDonald's milkshake.
She's built like an Amazon warrior.
Exactly.
But I assure you, if it was, and I mean, I hate to be the guy to pull race into this, but if it was a white player wearing it where they weren't as shapely, it wouldn't have been a problem. It would have been like, oh, look at her making a fashion statement. Oh my gosh, it's so great. Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
But because she's built the way she's built, there's a problem with it.
Yeah. But they've been hating on the black woman's figure for a very long time. So that doesn't even shock me that they would say that. Just
it's like back in slavery days, where the slave master has the slaves, and then he's lusting over the slaves, rapes them, and then has the children with them. It's because they over sexualize them. It's not their fault. So now you're gonna, because you can't control your urges or your tongue or your imagination. You can't wear that. Why? Was it in a rule book? I wasn't allowed to wear this. If I'm telling you I'm wearing this for a medical reason, why is it an issue? Like, and this is what I don't understand. People's healths are worth more than the money you're giving them.
100%.
There is no amount of money you can give me to make me feel like, you know what, I'll take this over my mental health any day, or I'll take this over my health any day.
Exactly.
No, like not at all. Especially if you've gone through stuff and you know the importance of having good health.
Yeah.
You'll never ever look at anything the same to be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do this for. No. There's nothing you can give me, nothing you can say to me to make me feel like, yeah, maybe I'll do this and I'll sacrifice my health for this.
Yeah.
No, it's not worth it. Not worth it at all.
I fully agree with you. Again, you're 100% right. I fully co-sign. And I just think that, again, the media is just way too entitled. And it always comes back to them saying these athletes are making so much money, so they need to. And the worst part is they keep blaming it on the fans, where the fans really don't care. Like, the fans don't mind looking at their IG post the next day. The fans don't mind looking at their podcast a week from now to find out how they felt about that game. No, it's the media. They want the views. They want the money. They want the revenue. So that's why they need these athletes to speak to them directly after a game or a match. And that's what it comes down to.
Monique. So she was in the news, trending, because she was talking about basically black ladies, young queens, having a little bit more self-respect, and not in a disrespectful way, but like self-respect, because they're leaving the house, going to airports in bonnets, pajamas, slippers. She's like, show some pride. Like, leave your house looking like somebody's child, like looking like the queen you're supposed to be. Like, don't. Anyways, what did you feel about her statements and what she said? Because she's now getting a lot of backlash for that. What do you feel about that?
I think she's entitled to her opinion, which I think that's perfectly fine. That's how she feels. I don't agree personally. I think that if a person's comfortable in their presentation, their look, it doesn't matter. They're not going out there to impress anybody. Now, it's about how they feel, mind you. Like, you could say go out looking like somebody's shot, but I rather somebody go out confident, feeling good about themselves, rather than someone that's all made up and feels horrible about themselves. So I don't agree with, I understand what she's saying about presentation, but I think that is also one of the problems that Black people have. We care too much about presentation, and that goes back to not slave mentality, but Jim Crow era and stuff, where we were trying to dress to feel good. That's why we buy $100, $200, $300 shoes and $1,000 jeans, because we want to feel better about ourselves. So we spend all of our money. When you look at white people, they do spend money some, but for the most part, they rock $10 Wrangler jeans and a plaid shirt, and they feel 100% fine because there's that secure in themselves. I'm not saying that's not what Monique is saying, or that is what Monique's saying or not. All I'm trying to say is we need to stop trying to judge each other by how we look, and it's more about the person you are and how you feel about yourself. And that's how I see it personally. How about you?
You want to know why white people don't feel any way and they're not caring about what other people think?
What?
Because they are the ones on the top of the totem pole, the ones who have all the power.
100%.
So it doesn't matter what they wear or what they do, because if me and them go for the same job interview and I'm wearing a suit and tie and they're wearing their Wrangler jeans, a plaid top, and dirty Converse, we can have the same credentials. Mine could even be better. 99% sure that they'd pick that person over me just because. Actually, you know what? 95% sure. But anyways, there's neither here nor there. Back to what Monique was saying. I agree with her. And I'm not saying that I disagree with everybody else for giving her backlash. Like, I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I know myself growing up, my mother, your aunt, would always say, you know what? Have pride. Like, dress to impress. You never know who you're going to see outside. So you don't know if you go outside, you're going to meet your next husband or your next wife. You don't know if you're going to meet your next boss. You don't know if you're going to meet your in-laws. You don't know who you're going to meet or your future in-law. Like, you never know. So always look, like, you only get one chance at a first impression. So if you go out in pajamas and socks and flip-flops and you have the opportunity, you see Bill Gates and he says, okay, you know what, pitch me something, and it's like you don't look the part. It's like you're not serious about life. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, always be dressed to impress.
I get you, and I don't agree.
At the end of the day,
you.
no, I understand you don't agree because you just said you shouldn't be judging people off of that. But my thing is dressing up, because that's in my mind. Dressing up. If I dress up and I'm, say, wearing dress pants, a button up, and I go somewhere and people are underdressed, a lot of people who would be in my position would feel awkward and uncomfortable because they're like, oh, I'm so dressed up and everybody's dressed down. Mm-hmm. I actually feel better about myself. Like, no, I'm okay with being well dressed. I don't find it awkward. I don't find it annoying, weird, uncomfortable. No, this is fine with me. But that's it. So this is why I don't think she's wrong for saying what she said. I mean, this is how she felt. Same thing. I'm saying that's how I feel as well. Like, hey, dress to impress. But I'm not mad at you if you decide you want to go out in a head bonnet, pajamas, slippers. As long as you're comfortable, do you. But I'm not mad at her for what she said. That's all I'm saying.
So I agree with you on your statement of going out, and if you're overdressed, I'm the same way. You know, I like to look good when I go out, or, you know what I mean? If we're going to an event, I will try to look good. And if I'm overdressed, I really don't feel a way about it. But I still don't knock people for not handling it that way. That's my issue with it. It's not that she has the right to feel the way she's feeling, but you can't really shame people or say, you know what, act like you're going out. Be like, no, what if the person's morals say, you know what, come as I am. That simple. Let me move how I live. Let me not try to put on for nobody else. I feel comfortable in this jogging suit, and this is what I'm wearing. I don't feel like wearing heels. I don't feel like wearing a short skirt. That's not how I feel. That's not how I want to roll. Now, I don't think it's right for someone else to be like, oh, I can't take you serious. Like, No, that's not the person. You rather a person put on for something that they're not, or be unhappy in what they're wearing. I'm just saying.
See, but I don't think it has anything to do with being happy or unhappy with what you're wearing. It's just comfort. That's really what it is. Like, if you're going to the
That
airport, you know you're going to be on a flight. It's easier to just go as you are,
exactly.
slippers.
But she didn't specify though. That's what I'm saying.
No, I understand she didn't specify.
Yeah.
But at the same time, have some pride in yourself. Like,
Again,
you can't, like, you don't
I don't.
have to dress up and wear the fanciest three-piece suit or a wedding gown, a ball gown, whatever type of gown. You don't have to wear all that stuff to look presentable.
Yeah.
If your hair's in a fro, okay, get an outline. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, there are ways you can still be comfortable.
What if you're on your way to get the outline and you see people?
Okay, you're on your way to get the outline. You get
But
the outline, you'll be fine.
but my whole point is that comments like that to somebody that doesn't think for themselves can still be hurtful, like to a little kid that's listening. That's my point. You know, there's some people that will not leave their house until they have a full face of makeup, a full this, a full that, just because they're so worried about what people will think on the outside. And I think that could be detrimental as well. I'm not saying that's what she was going to, but all I'm trying to say is even a broad statement like that, there needs to be some context in it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, she said what she said. She didn't miss, all right?
Hey,
But
I
no,
think she missed. I think she missed, right? And
she
it's
really
her
didn't.
opinion. I'm just arguing her opinion because I don't think someone's wrong for having a different opinion. I just think that it's wrong for saying that people need to do better. Like that's where I think
No,
it's
she was just
wrong.
saying have a little bit more pride in yourself. Like,
Exactly, but to just throw out that someone might not have pride in themselves because they're running a quick errand and they're just running to Walmart and the kids crying at home, so we're in their what's called because they only got 10 minutes to go into Walmart, pick up their stuff and leave. I don't think that's fair. That's all I'm trying to say. I think it's a broad statement that's not necessarily fair to
okay,
realistic life situations.
so this is the thing. You're using specific examples. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you have 10 minutes, the baby's crying, you have to run out and this and that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Now, going to an airport.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you had a little bit more than 10 minutes to get ready and go. You knew you had to be at the airport for, I don't know, we'll just say weeks in advance because you
Yeah.
bought your tickets weeks in advance. So you had time to prepare for it. You're going somewhere. So that means your nails at least have to have been done because you're taking a flight somewhere. So you're not going somewhere, say you're going to Miami for
Yeah.
spring break.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going there looking like a bum. So you're going to make sure you are at least kind of presentable when you get there. All she's saying is look presentable, leaving and going there. You don't know who you're going to meet at the airport. And that's it. She's not saying that they're wrong or whatever. She's just saying, like, you know what? This is like the whole argument with the, back in the day, the father getting the big piece of chicken because, you know, he worked 2 jobs, this and that, and he should be served first. And it's like, okay, that was back then.
Yeah.
Times have changed. Now, the men that we are, it's like, you know what? You guys eat, I'll eat what's left.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the same type of mentality with the, you know what, leave, look presentable. You never know who you're going to be. Like, it's like your mom saying, remember to wear clean underwear when you're leaving the house. Because if you get into an accident, we want to wear clean underwear. Same thing. Look presentable when you leave the house. You never know what's going to happen.
And
that was it.
I understand that sentiment. I fully get it. It's not that I don't understand it. All I'm trying to say is I think her choice of wording,
have a little bit more self-respect. Yeah.
Have a little more again, that's attacking. Whether she meant to or not, it's attacking. Assuming that somebody catching a flight at 2:00 in the morning wearing their nightgown doesn't have self-respect. I'm just saying that's not what she said, but it's still she has to put context behind her words, because just saying, like, I see people wearing bonnets and wearing nightgowns in public, have a little more self-respect. It's like, you don't know me, you don't know my struggle. Now it feels like you're looking down on me. Once you throw in self-respect, it's a direct to somebody, whoever is hit dogs are gonna holler. So if somebody, regardless of what they're doing right now, has to run to the store, like I told you, and their kids crying and they're wearing whatever, and someone just like, that's what Monique was talking about. I was like, you're judging me? I'm just saying. She needs to be specific, and I think that's why she's getting her backlash.
So you're saying she needs to be specific. How would you say she should have said it? I'm just curious.
All right, now, first of all, I wouldn't have said something like that, but if I were to say it, I would probably say something like, "You never know when there might be an opportunity, so you should always dress the part." I would say something like that. I wouldn't tell somebody that they need self-respect. I would throw it out that, hey, you never know. You never know when you're gonna have an opportunity. You never know when you're gonna meet somebody that can help you. So you should always dress the part. That's how I would do it, an indirect way, but let people understand where I'm going with it. Like I'm trying to help them rather than judging them. So I thought so.
Bravo.
Bravo.
I mean, it is what it is. So NYC Dalton School parents are upset that their first grade children were teaching them about masturbation.
Let's clear that up. Not only teaching them about masturbation, show them a video, cartoon about this.
Okay, teaching children about masturbation, I guess, is not a big problem, but you're teaching first graders about masturbation. So they know nothing about sex and where babies come from and sexual reproduction, none of that stuff. Why are you teaching them about masturbation? Why are you even teaching them about sex? At this time in their life, they're not worried about that stuff.
Exactly.
Like, I understand if they get to about grade 4 because this is when puberty starts to hit for some people. So, I mean, teaching them about puberty, fine. Why are you teaching them about masturbation? Who are you to teach my child about masturbation at 6 years old? Are you going to come and wash the crusty socks? I'm just joking. But, like, why are you, like, I don't understand why you would take it upon yourselves to teach children, 6-year-olds, about masturbation. Like, it makes no sense. Like I said, if you're going to teach them about sexual education, that's one thing. I'm not saying that it's right to teach a 6-year-old about sex education. What do they need to learn about that right now? Like, they're still children. They're still concerned with playing, Barbies, toy trucks, dinosaurs. They're not interested in that stuff. So why are you teaching them about it?
Yeah.
Like, there has never been anyways. But then to take it a step further and teach them about masturbation, and then the cartoon, sometimes my penis gets erect and I like to touch it. And sometimes I touch like, what kids talk like that? First of all. And secondly, what's with all the descriptive language? Like, kids don't know anything about that stuff. Like, some adults don't even know about that stuff. Why are you teaching children about this stuff? Like, I believe they're absolutely wrong for this. And, I mean, I think the whole school should be shot away. That's it. Done. Your thoughts?
I fully agree with you. But even in Canada, they're trying to pull the same stunt. Bring the young kids all this excessive knowledge, because that's what I'll call it. Like, look, it's disturbing that they're trying to make little kids more sexual. Like, it's weird. It's weird that they're trying to bring that into school at such a young age. Like, why would you do that? Why would you try to corrupt their minds with this information? Like, let them enjoy being kids. No one's saying that kids should not be aware and understand what's going on, but teach them, let them understand in the future when they're thinking about these things. You're basically accelerating the process, and we're going to just have some real dysfunctional kids that are doing a lot of things before the time, just because the world is telling them that right now is the time. It's very disturbing. I find it disgusting. I'm sure it's just
Yeah,
disgusting, but
yeah.
more than that, it's disturbing that that the government, that people are allowing this in our school systems. And no, and putting it in a cartoon form. Again, we all know to market to kids, you put in cartoon forms. We've seen it happen with cigarettes. We've seen it happen with legit everything, that a lot of things that are harmful to market it. And this another thing, sexual activity. They're trying to put it in so that kids adapt and understand it. I think it's even you said grade 4. I guess to me that's still way too early. I think like because kids, again, this is the world we live in. Kids will hear things and you do want them to be more understanding, but you still can't rush the process. I would say
Mhm.
more like a grade 6-ish, you know what I
But
mean?
see, I was gonna say
Process.
grade 6, but
Yeah.
grade 4, some little girls, even some boys, like they hit puberty. So I mean,
Yeah.
for them to at least learn about what's going on with their body, that's fine.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think you
guess
should
so.
teach them before that
Yeah, yeah.
because at that point they're not concerned with that. But at
Exactly.
that point, at least have a conversation, a dialogue, so at least they know what's happening. And if they're curious and they want to know more, then at that point, hey, they can go to their parents, learn
Yeah.
more stuff. But they know grade 5, we're going to learn a little bit more. Grade 6, we're going to learn a lot more because, okay, this is what our bodies are doing now,
Yeah.
or the majority of everybody's body is doing this now. So let's learn about it.
Yeah. But no, it's back to what you're saying. I think throw the whole school away. But again, I would like to just throw that school away, but they're doing the same things out here. So it's really just something that as a collective we need to kind of like stand against, because I think that they're trying for some weird reason to push this agenda on kids, bro. Like push this sexual agenda on kids. Like if you ask me when I was 6 years old, sex was the furthest thing from my mind, bro. Like furthest
And I
thing,
was
bro.
going to bring this up.
Yeah,
You remember us? I can't even say as kids. I
yeah,
mean, yes, we were kids, but like teenagers.
yeah,
When we would do stuff, it's like over the shirt action,
yeah.
over the pants action, and we're like, yo, guess what? Oh, now you hear kids so young talking about, yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you know
Yeah.
what,
That's
you don't even know what
disturbing.
you're doing.
That's
What's,
disturbing,
and
yeah.
it throws me off because I'm like, at that age, I wasn't even thinking about this stuff.
Bruh,
Like,
no, no, nowhere
even me in my
near.
teen years, I wasn't thinking about that stuff.
I've known
I
you
mean,
in
a
your
lie,
teen
but
years,
you
bro.
get,
That's a lie.
yeah, that's a lie, but
That's a hell of a
you
lie.
understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
you can't lie to me, G. You can't lie to me. But nah, it's definitely one of those things, but just way too early, way too over sexualizing these kids. And yeah, it's disturbing. Again, there's not much to say except it's disturbing. I saw that thing, and the worst part is that the parents did not even know. So they were doing this, I'm assuming, either without parents' permission or they slid it into the curriculum that the parents didn't realize. But either way, man, it's disturbing. It's like just a why. Why do they think so young? It makes no sense to me. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, cousins from all around the world, we bring you to our segment of the show, Tales from the Internet. 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 This one's kind of light, but the question goes, what would y'all do if you parked your car at a friend's house while you were out of town and they drove it 300 plus miles and without asking you? I'm trying to see something. So, your thoughts on that?
Now, the thing is, that's still a betrayal. That's messed up. I would feel a way about that. For one, without asking, you take my property, but it's not even like it's something small where it's okay. Like, it's all right. I just needed to run to the store, so I took your. Unless that store is 300 miles away, bro, we have a problem because anything could have happened. I'm sure I don't have you on my insurance. We got an issue. You just take liberties with my stuff. I'd have a problem with. So no, not cool. We'd probably have a bigger problem. I'm not saying I'd end the friendship, but the friend would have to be extremely remorseful, and we'd have to discuss things before we could get back close again. That's how I would see it. How about you?
I mean, they're entitled to how they feel. So I can't say this person was wrong for being upset with a friend.
Mhm.
But also, I feel like if that was your friend, they may have felt like, yeah, it's okay because they let me drive the car before, or
300 miles though.
no, I understand that. Like, I mean, yeah, that's messed up. But at the same time, I'm not the type of person to look at my speedometer and be like, hey, yo, this went up. Speedometer, the miles, the gauge, you understand what I'm
I
talking
get
about.
you. But
I
sorry to
don't
cut
look
you
at it
off.
to be like,
I don't want to cut you off. But what if it's a situation where you went to the crib, like to pick up your car, and your car's not there? Then you're like, yo, where's the car at? You're like, yo, I'm in, I'm just talking about, let's say from Montreal. Yo, I'm in Ottawa right now. And you're like, oh, all right. Like, I'm just saying, it's pretty crazy.
yeah. But I mean, I'm pretty, in this instance, I'm pretty sure they came back, the car was there, and they noticed it.
Okay.
If I went somewhere and came back and my car's not there, and I'm like, okay, where you at? Oh, well, yeah, I'm in Ottawa right now. I'm an hour and a half, 2 hours away. I'll come back right now.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, I'm going to Uber home. You're paying for it. Drive to my house, drop off my car,
So
and then
then
you
there you
can
go.
Uber home.
So
But
there you
no,
go.
no, no. But it's not to say we're going to fight about it. I'm going to be
Yeah.
mad. Like, it's, no, I'm going home now. I came to your house because this is where I dropped off my car. And you left with my car. Like, nah, it's not going to happen. But in this situation, the car was like, once again, I'm not saying this person was wrong. But if the car was still there, you didn't get into an accident, everything's fine with the car, I'd be like, all right, cool. I probably will never leave my car there again because I know that you would take it for a joyride.
Yeah.
Or before I leave it there, I'll give specific direction. Hey, do not drive my car unless
You
the
ask.
house is burning down
Or you
and you have
ask
to
me.
move it from the garage
Yeah.
to the street because you didn't want the fire to catch it.
Yeah.
Like, tell me, don't just drive my car and I have to come back and find out you drove it because
Yeah.
it wasn't being driven. Like, nah, that ain't right.
No, it's not right at all. But it's not. I get you, and it's cool that you're taking it so lightly. But no, I would feel violated regardless. And I'm not saying again enough to end a friendship, but it would still be enough for me to be like, bro, like, come on, you couldn't have called
But
me.
once again, if it's a friend that's been driving my car, I'm not really going to be like, you know what, you
I
couldn't
hear
have called me
you.
because at the end of the day, in their
Mhm.
mind, I don't need it because I'm not there.
Yeah, but
So them
again,
driving it,
yeah, no, but I'm sorry to cut you off. But again, you're saying hypothetically if it's somebody that's been driving it. But if it's somebody that you said, yo, do you mind? You have an extra garage? Can I just leave my car here? And then next thing you know, someone took your car for
okay.
go
And
ahead.
that's the thing. I'm not leaving my car at any and everybody's house. Like, we have to be friends on some kind of level. It's not to say we're just acquaintances and I'm going to say, hey, can I leave my car at your house?
Yeah.
I would never do that. I'd have to be your friend and say, hey, can I leave the car here because I'm not going to be in town? And can you just keep an eye on it?
Yeah.
At that point, it most likely will be one of my friends or cousins
Yeah.
who's been driving the car. Now, if you had no license and you were driving the car, that's another issue. Like,
Yeah.
why are you driving my car? Suppose you got stopped and they took it away. And that's what the conversation would have been. And it'd been like, you know what? I ain't going to leave my car here again. It's cool.
Again, I'll knock it. I get you, but no. Some lines, some parameters need to be built, understood. After that, because like I said, me, I'm all about asking. There's certain things that for me are constants. Please, thank you, and asking. Like that. Those like for me. If somebody doesn't do those three things, it really messes with me. If I give you something, just say thank you. I will always say thank you. If you want something from me, just say please. I'm gonna always say please. If you want something, just ask. Don't take, don't grab. Just say, yo, do you mind? Or cool, or you know what I mean? Or I'm gonna take this. Even that to me is an ask. But if you just take something from me, I still feel violated. Like, bro, like, would it? Like, no, you asked me.
Mm.
So I'm just saying, I'm not. I get what you're saying because you have to be close enough, but taking my car 300 miles away,
Plus miles, yeah.
that to me is above.
With all that being said, cousins, let us know how you guys would react. Would you guys care? Would you guys not care? Would you mind if they asked? Would it be okay? Would it just be okay if they drove the car? Let us know what you think. That's all I want to know.
Owen Bryan, um, big time influencer, amazing personality, hilarious. He has great content. I follow him on Facebook, YouTube, all that. Man, anybody following him, check it out. It's fire, right? A post that he actually put on his page, right? Was it said, your wife slash husband and 7-year-old daughter stuck in a burning building. You can only save one. What would you do? Now, one person on this said, I'm gonna save my wife because at least I could always have more kids, right? What would you do?
That's a hard one. Oh, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? And this is because of how I think.
Yeah.
I would save the child. Because I know if it was me and my child or me and my children there, and my wife can only save me or the children, I'd say save the children.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure she would say the same thing. So I'd save the child.
Okay. I got you.
You?
Definitely saving the child, bro. No question. What do you mean have more kids, bro? Your wife is leaving you. If that's, especially if you tell her your logic. If you say I saved you because we can always have more, she is gone, bro. You did it for nothing. Like, it makes no sense. That is one of the dumbest things I ever heard. We could always have more. She don't want you no more, bro. You let her kid go because you think you're gonna just have more with her. Anyways, but no, it's crazy. It's crazy that that's even a thought. It would suck for anyone to be in that position, mind you.
Yeah.
But for you to even second guess it, and mind you, I love my wife, but I would not second guess it at all. And I wouldn't want her to second guess it. Like, yo, let me go, save our kids, bro. There's no question. You know how upset I would be if I was saved. So I'm just saying, it's a crazy question, and it's a horrific situation for anyone to ever be in. But for anybody, if a man or woman says they would save the person, their partner before their kids, that's a person you need not be with, man.
You know what?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and judge people for their opinion.
Let me hear
Everybody's
something.
entitled to their opinion. No. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Okay.
If that's what that person felt at that time, hey, that's what they feel.
Okay.
We don't know the dynamics between him and his wife. Maybe him and his wife have spoke about it, and his wife was like, yo, save me because we can have more of that. Or, like, we don't know. But, I mean, it was a hypothetical question, and it's a no judgment zone. Why are people always judging people? Like, let them live. It's fine. That's what they did. We know we wouldn't do it, but hey, that's what they do.
You know what?
In their mind.
No, go ahead. In their mind, sorry.
In their mind, the child is young. They didn't have much life lived anyway, so they can have more. As opposed to the wife is there. It's the love of his life. He grew with her. He knows her longer than he knew the child. No, but you understand what I'm saying. Like,
I get what you're saying.
We can't judge people for what they would choose. It was a hypothetical question. The person chose what they chose. So be it.
I get you.
Because I mean,
go ahead.
It's a hard question to answer. So this is why it's one of those things where it's like, we don't know if this person was just trying to be funny, saying, well, you know what, I saved the wife because I can have more kids.
Yeah.
So,
and to be honest, I don't get what you're saying. No, I'm playing. I get what you're saying, but no, bro, I'm here to judge people. That's what I'm here to do. Okay, because some stuff like that is ignorant. Now, if he's playing and joking around, he shouldn't have a problem with this because he feels the same way I feel. But if he doesn't feel the same way I feel, he's an idiot, bro. No way you should. Again, adults, they say women and children first, but it should say children, women. That's how I see it. Kids always first in any type of scenario. You always protect children, and no, if you, I have no respect. If one of my boys, God forbid, or anybody I knew came to me and be like, "Yeah, I had to choose between my wife and my kid," and they're like, "Yeah," so I took her. I'd be like, "Yo, we ain't friends no more, B. We're not going." Like, I can't even trust you around me, man. Anything happen, man? Yo, there might be a dog. You'd be like, "Yo, I had to save the dog." You're an idiot, bro. I can't co-sign it. Sorry. No.
Man, look at you judging people like Wendy Williams.
You know that's my item.
I was watching you guys' sports talk, sports talk, and Nappy was like how basically Floyd shouldn't take the fight. Why is he taking the fight? Anything can happen. Like when Kimbo Slice, he was supposed to be the star of that UFC alternative, and the dude just flinging wild punches and pluck, knocked him out.
Yeah.
So he's right. Anything can happen. But at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather, he was explaining it. He was like, it's an exhibition fight. Everybody's done exhibition fights. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray, everybody's done exhibition fights. Yeah. He's like, and it's fine. He's like, the bag I'm going to get just for the exhibition fight, why not?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's not even about the money. It's just, you know what? It's cool. It's something to do.
Yeah.
He knows it's not going to be like Pound Town where, okay, he has to go blow for blow with somebody and try to.
Yeah.
It's just for the sport. So, you know what? Exactly. Jab, bob, weave, show your footwork. Okay, cool. Get as many hits as you can. Okay, you're the winner. It's going to be like Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. Yeah. I have to lean back because.
Again, Floyd is too smart to think that there is any reasonable chance of him losing. That's my opinion. And he already, it's a non-title found. It's a fight. It's not a record fight. It doesn't affect him. Even if he does lose, changes nothing in his life, bro. So I see it as him just making money and living his life.
Exactly. And as Nappy was saying, he says in his mind, he's still going to record it as a loss if he loses.
Yeah.
And that's fine. People can do that.
Yeah.
But in records, on paper, it means nothing. So he could lose. Okay. When he fought Pacquiao.
Yeah.
It was a calculated fight. It wasn't a real fight. He wasn't going to go blow for blow with him because there was a chance he could have lost.
Yeah.
So it was you know what?
Getting his points up.
Okay. And that's really what it's going to be. Like, the Paul brother is bigger than him, taller than him. So it's like.
Yeah. He's going to be worn out in by the third round at most. And then what's the name that's going to be, picking them apart. And then by a 6th, 7th round, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Mayweather knocks him out. I'm not saying he will, but don't be surprised.
I don't think there's going to be a knockout.
Bro, don't be surprised. Again, the thing is, he's bigger, but Mayweather's so much faster, so much quicker, so much more agile. He's going to be chasing him around the ring, chasing him around. You know how much endurance you need for that. He's going to be so tired, I say, by around, like I said, the 5th, 6th, that's what Mayweather was. That's what he's just going to start, tap, 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 just tagging him, tap, 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 tap.
But it's not going to be a knockout. He's just going to get his points up. That's what think. He's just going to get his points up, and that's going to be it.
Don't be surprised if it's going to be a knockout. And it's not because of sheer power. It's just that Logan's going to be so exhausted, and he will just take him out. Don't be surprised.
Once again, he's too calculated for this. He's going to take the taps and get his points up because, like Nappy was saying, it can take just one.
Oh, definitely.
To knock him out. So if he gets close enough and he decides he's just going to and catches him. So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to stay back and do the taps and get my points up and win like that.
We'll see. But like I said, don't be surprised. Mark my words. Don't be surprised if Mayweather knocks him out in the later rounds. Don't be surprised. Okay. I'm telling you. But and there's no technical, so there's no TKOs. So it's not, the ref ain't stopping nothing. Yeah. It's only a real knockout that's gonna work. So we'll see, man. I'm telling you.
Now, if it was Jake Paul, I'm sure he'd probably go for the knockout.
just for his hat. He wants his hat back.
Like so stupid,
Give
so
me
so
that hair
stupid.
back. Yeah, I want to see that fight, that Tyron Woodley fight against Jake Paul. I want to see that. Tyron Woodley, I don't, to be honest, I don't know how great of a boxer he is. He might not be. It's just that he looks the part. He looks like he would
Mm.
be able to handle his own. So I really am kind of interested to see if he's gonna be able to hold his own with Jake Paul. Because again, Jake Paul can box. Anyone that's denying him is just a hater at this point. Of course, we're not saying he's a professional boxer,
Yeah,
but he can box. So clearly he could box better than a lot of UFC fighters. So it's I
and Nate
definitely want to see
Robinson.
this. And they, yeah, I mean, I still feel bad. I still feel like it's too early, man. I think maybe about 3-4 years I'll be able to make those jokes. Still feels too early, bro.
Underrated hood movie. I would go with ATL. You?
Underrated hit movie?
Yeah.
Okay. No, ATL was, I guess it's underrated because it doesn't get brought up as much as it should. Um, I don't know if it's underrated, but it just again doesn't get brought up as much. The Wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I brought up ATL thing where okay, they go to the roller rink and they're roller skating and yada yada yada. And I thought to myself, yo, that would be a dope thing to do. Like, but I was like, no, in Toronto we have one of those or had one of those, but then the pandemonium happened and I don't know if things are happening, but it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking about Lauren London. And I was like, okay, Lauren London, she's a beautiful young lady. Um, she was with Nipsey Hussle. He passed several years ago. She has a child for him. Now, my question is, do you think she'll ever be able to date again? Will it be one of those things where people will always be like, that's Nipsey's girl, so you cannot, and she would feel like she can't date again because she will always be his girl? Or do you think at one point in time in her life, she's going to be able to be like, you know what? Because she's in the light. Everybody's watching her. So it's like everybody feels like they have an opinion on your life. They hold weight, what their words hold weight. So, no, you can't do that. Do you think she'll let that hinder her from moving on, or if she even wants to move on? Like, what do you feel about that whole situation?
That's actually a good question. Very random, but a good question. Uh, the thing is, I don't know. I don't think that it's what people feel. I think when someone goes through a major loss, it's like the last thing on their mind is to be with somebody. Um, and plus, it's just she has a kid. Well, she has kids, but she has specifically a kid with him. And it's just, I think for her, it just be too much to take on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's trying to grieve and deal with it, raising her child, and then to add somebody to it that's not the father, it might just make it just add more to it. So I think that she will move on, but I think it's going to be whomsoever will have to be 100% solid person for her to be willing to give that side of her up. So it'll be and I'm not even sure it would be somebody in the industry at that. I'm pretty sure if she does move on, it'll probably be somebody outside the industry, but a stand-up person. But yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the outside or the public. I think it's more just that's not what she probably wants with her life right now. Like, after going through a major loss like that, I can't. The only reason, in my opinion, someone would rush into something would be just trying to get over that pain.
To fill that void.
Exactly. And I think she seems as though she has a solid mind, a solid spirit, solid mind that she's, trying to just make sure her life is right, her kids are right, and then she'll move forward. How about you? What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I get that exactly. Like, I don't think she really cares what anybody else has to say because, I mean, it's her life. She'll do what she has to do. But I don't think at this point in time in her life, she is looking to move on or looking for that. But I mean, she will find it if she's looking for it ever in the future. And she will settle for somebody. Like, not settle, but she will. Yeah. That's it.
No, but definitely. And again, that's a That's just a hard one, man. And same thing with Vanessa Bryant, and just it's a hard one, man. When someone goes through that type of loss, it's like, I'm sure what they need is just time. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Things never go back to normal, but just to find some sort of normalcy in their lives. So I think it's more that eventually they will find somebody, but right now it's they would I think would just be too much to add on at this point
Yeah,
personally, and I have
no,
no say in
definitely.
their lives, but too much. Once again, this is Cuz the Internet podcast. Remember to subscribe on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You can write us on our email at CuzTheInternet@gmail.com. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. I'm your host, Trey.
And I'm your Jose. And remember, if it's on the internet, we may talk about it. Ayo.
I